welcome back to another episode of Sa3 Tv, and today, as promised as last week, I'll be talking about the decat of my Audi S3. So I'm going to talk about the beginning and to what we are now. So starting from the beginning, so this can be pretty much based on the noise of my Audi S3. So when I first bought my Audi S3 last year in March, April time, I think, I'm not entirely sure. It was March, April, around about that time. When I bought the S3, I'll be honest with you, just like anybody else, especially when it comes to performance cars, they sound amazing when you first buy the car. And when I actually first bought the car, the Audi S3, the noise of it wasn't good enough. And for me, I always like improvement, I always like better things, improving things. So when I actually bought the car, when it was stock, the S3, it was loud-ish, but the problem was that it wasn't loud enough to stand out. So that was pretty much, my channel is based on the Audi S3, and I'm gonna make sure, shut the windows, wind as well. Pretty sunny outside today, so it's brilliant weather to vlog. So the car wasn't loud enough for me to actually take around, and also me going to a lot of shows in London, especially like head turner shows as well, I go to them occasionally, and the problem is every time I drove through Sloane Street or Haymarket or wherever the actual meetups were going to be, the Audi S3, my Audi S3 wasn't standing out as much as I thought it'd be. And I knew straight away the first thing I want to start with is, of course, the noise of it. I want the car to sound unique. I want it to be Sa3 TV. I want it to be the channel, which I am going to slowly. So the noise of my Audi S3 wasn't good enough from stock, so I made the decision of actually taking the silencer out, so de-resing it. And if you watch my video when I de-resed it, the Audi S3 actually sounded more it sounded more gruntier than stock, and it was a little bit louder. Taking the actual resonator out of any car, it really does improve the overall sound. So when de-resing my car, just like I said, I got used to it too much, and the problem is, like I said, I like things to be better. And then after a while, I decided to map the vehicle as well. If you listen to that, I'm not sure if the camera can actually pick that up, but it's popping and banging. So when I actually mapped the car, I decided to actually go for a stage 1 and also a pop and bang map. So the Audi S3, I think it's up to the 66 plate, as far as I know, yeah. So the pre-facelift, they don't actually pop and bang as stock. Facelift and above, they pop and bang stock. But even with the facelift models, their pop and bang isn't, it's not constant. It's like one little pop and that's pretty much it, and it's not good enough. So I decided to go for a stage 1 map, so the ECU map, and also a what's it called, a pop and bang map. But that was with a res delete, and it made a fair amount of difference, but not enough. So then I decided to actually go for a downpipe. So I was talking with one of my friends who's actually a vlogger as well. He's got an awesome 370. Make sure to check out his channel, links in my description. He actually advised me to go for a sports cat. So I was looking around. I actually asked a couple of friends of mine with a sports cat. So I've got two friends of mine. I've got a Golf R and an Audi S3. One's got a downpipe, so a custom downpipe decat, and one's actually got a Miltech sports cat. And I actually heard both of them. With a sports cat, the noise isn't as aggressive when it comes to a decat, and I can actually vouch for that and say, you know what, yeah. So I'm actually on a 70 now, so let's just stop here, and you can actually hear it as well. So, whoa, not sure if you can hear the pops and bangs. This thing is ridiculous, and you might think I'm over-exaggerating, but I'm really not, because I've owned this car for just over a year and a bit now. I know what the car feels like, I can feel it, and any small modification. So with the res delete, for example, there was only a little bit, it was more sound rather than being more responsive. But when I actually decatted this thing, this car felt completely different. When you accelerate, so when you hit about, I'd say about 2.5, 3,000 RPM, when the car really kicks in, it screams. It really screams. As I'm hoping the camera actually picked it up, but the car honestly screams in your face. My advice to you would be going for a custom downpipe, and the reason why I say that, I'm not saying anything towards manufacturers, companies like Miltech and Scorpion. I've got nothing against that. It's just from my experience. I'd rather go the custom way rather than off the shelf. But that's just that. Like I said, that's just from my personal experience. Because I've actually ordered parts and they just never fitted, and it was just a complete headache for me. I want my Audi S3 to represent my channel. I want you guys to like my S3. I want it to be unique. I don't want it to be like any other S3 that my friends know. I want it to be the Sa3 Tv S3. I want it to be that S3 that people know about. Carrying on with the decat, I can pretty much say, you know what, it is really responsive. It is incredibly responsive. Not only because I've had it mapped, and also with a pop and bang map, it just feels different. It doesn't feel like my S3 anymore. It just feels completely different. And I can actually say, some people probably think I'm exaggerating, but I'm really not. Last week when I actually drove my S3 on my road, and I just put it in sport. I wasn't accelerating. I was just driving 20 miles an hour, and as soon as I took my foot off the accelerator, it pops and bangs like nobody's business. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think specific neighbours of mine are totally impressed with my car. I think there's only 1 or 2 people on my road that actually like my car because they're petrol heads as well. But there are specific people on my road that are just not impressed by any way. But it's loud enough not to be annoying, but it's loud enough to pretty much bring a smile to your face. Decatting this S3, like I said, is probably the best thing I've done so far. So I'm not entirely sure. So when it comes to my OEM back box, so my stock back box, I don't honestly think it's going to keep up with the decat and the res delete, because I've mapped it and it's done a pop and bang map. I don't think my valves in my back box are going to keep up, and I'm just a little bit concerned. So a friend of mine who's got a Scirocco R, he's done the exact same thing, and for some odd reason his valves in a Scirocco R start to slowly get more stiff, and it's really odd. And he was saying, if you're going to decat and res delete your car, get a custom back box, valved of course, because this car is a daily car for me. So I need it to be a daily car. I don't want it to become annoying. So even with this, with the OEM, so that the stock back box, it makes an incredible difference. But there is a massive difference between pretty much keeping the back box and the valves in. And I can honestly say, like I said, from experience now, that I've actually had it for just a little bit over a week now, with the decat, keep your back box. And if you want to straight pipe it, feel free. I mean, personally, I wouldn't. Like I said, it's a daily car of mine. I don't want this to become annoying. I want to build this car's character. I want you guys to build my car with me. I want you guys to give me advice, give me tips in my comments, like my, subscribe to me, so I can build this car. I can build the channel for you guys, because the whole point of this channel is for myself, obviously, of course, my Audi S3, and for you guys that are watching my video and that are supporting me and smashing that subscribe button. And let's actually get to 200 subs. So carry on with the actual benefits of decatting it now. So just moving on to a little bit further. So when I was talking about how responsive my Audi S3 is, it has such an urge to go, and it just doesn't stop. You guys are probably thinking I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I'm really not. If you know your cars well, you know that when you open up the vehicle, when you let it breathe better, it responds better. And a couple of friends of mine are probably claiming that my Audi S3 that is probably pushing about 360, 370 now. So my Audi S3 with a stage 1 is probably a lot of people say it gives it about extra 50 horsepower. So I'd say about 360 brake. With the res delete and the actual decat, I can probably guess. I haven't actually put it on a dyno yet, which I am planning on doing. hopefully in the next couple of months, put it on a dyno, see what it's actually pushing out. And I personally think it's probably pushing about, I reckon about 375, 380 brake max. Driven it before the decat and the decat, you can definitely feel the power gains. You can definitely feel the gains out of this car. It is a massive difference. It is honestly a massive difference. And with the decat now, with the custom decat, sorry, the custom downpipe, sorry, is the correct word for it, and the res delete, it really, really has built the character of my Audi S3. It's incredible, and I think I can honestly say that now the people in my area know I'm actually coming back and I'm in the area. I have a setting for individual, which I keep the valves closed, and I just I pretty much keep it in comfort, because I don't like accelerating so difficultly and aggressively, obviously for like further damages and stuff. Put it in dynamic, and when you actually open the valves, it is honestly ridiculously loud. But like I said, it's not too loud to the point where it gets annoying. It's like a satisfying loud. And this car honestly is a good laugh. The car is a real good laugh. It's an all-rounder car. The car is so subtle, not too grunty at the same time. I think when you drive the car you'll know, but when you're in dynamic, so sport, you can really, really feel the car, and you can definitely hear the car. So can you hear that pops and bangs? Bloody hell. This thing really is loud. I want to make this car, like I said, Sa3 TV. I want people to look at this car and realise, oh my god, that's Sa3 TV's S3. I want you guys to know that. So, actually going to finish this vlog off now. It wasn't much, but the one thing I do want to show you guys what it actually sounds when the valves are closed and when the valves are open. So just check this out. Make sure to smash that subscribe button, like, and turn the notification on. Take care guys, and stay safe.